Hello everybody, this is House Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play the Banner Saga. In the previous episode, we tried to follow the summer path, but unfortunately we're forced to take a detour because there were far too many dredge for us to fight through without an extreme risk of losing some people. And we stopped right after Hawkerthorpe. Hawkthorpe? Well, however you pronounce the town. Look, anybody who's seen my Persona playthroughs knows I'm gonna be butchering names. Hawkstorp. Alright, let's see. In the distance, Hawkstorp smolders like an old campfire. Even from here you can see black figures shambling through it. That looks like a dead town, remarks Iver, confirming your impressions. It's usually survivors, oddly reminds you. Let's check it out just in case. I hope others would do the same for me. Dredge are nothing we haven't faced before, Iver grunts, but otherwise says nothing. Besides, it might throw Bellower off the scent a bit. You head a day's march out towards Hawkstorp. As soon as you've stepped foot in the small town, you think you've made a mistake. It's thoroughly littered with corpses. Within moments, the dredge are upon you as though you start up an angry hornet's nest. You draw your weapons. I think I'm gonna stick with what I've got. In terms of, loadout. Alright, we got him surrounded. Let's see. A fire slinger here. Got a slinger veteran. And we got these three boys. Ugh, I don't like having an archer just here with no one to defend him. Like, I really don't like this setup because it doesn't allow me to form a shield wall with my varl to protect some of the weaker units. Wait a minute. Unless it's on this pole, that is a layering screw-up, but I think it actually might be on the pole. I guess this is the best we got. Alright, Iver, you head in here. Take out the fire slinger before he can start slinging bombs around. Yeah, not surprised by that. Don't have enough strength to get through his armor. At least not anymore. So, smart play by him. So let's start breaking that armor. Ugh. I hate slingers. Alright, what about these guys? They're probably gonna try and go after... This guy's probably gonna try and go after Iver. Because he's right there. So, how about I put Eggle right here. That block, well, not entirely. But it might make a more tempting target, and then I stonewall him. Yep. And he resisted all that damage, and all he did was damage his buddy. Okay, he goes next. He'll probably either go after Gunnulf or go after Avon, and Avon's the more tempting target. So let's do some damage to him, get him below, or at least just below Avon's armor threshold. Okay, chose to go after Gunnulf. That's fine. Let's see how this works out. Strength damage, huh? Oh, it is not looking good for Gunnulf. I need to start blasting these guys. This one won't hit Gunnulf. And down goes Gunnulf. Shit. Which leaves our very squishy boys at the mercy of two big guys. Yay! Okay, I can work with that. He is below threshold for both Rook and Iver. But I need to take this guy out before he becomes too much of a problem. Well, or at least leave him weak. Okay, they're choosing to go after the rest of them. That'll do 4 damage, that's good. Alright, I can't annihilate any of them with Iver. Let's see, 9, down to 4, 4, 6. I think I need to mend Iver. Let's see, half of current willpower. Yeah, 1 will be enough. Get Iver back up to a good position. Ow. I can outright kill this one, or I could weaken this one. I think I'm going to position myself over here so I can hit both of them if need be, and weaken this one. Which also in turn weakens this one. You can do 2 to him. Good. Unfortunately, you are out of willpower. And are just out of range to be able to hit any of these guys. That's fine. Keep weakening this guy. Let's see, 1, 1, 4, or 1, 2, 1. Or I think it's about time we start killing. More worried about this guy. Okay, Iver. You finish this guy off. And then Eggle can get this one. Okay. Outside of Gunnulf, that went reasonably well. Again, I just really wish I could at least know what kind of enemies I'm going up against so that I can maybe arrange the party in a better way. It's one thing I really don't like about the Banner Saga. The town is nothing but ghosts, and now covered in more dredge bodies too. Remarkably, as you're about to leave, you find an old man sitting quietly in a tattered market stall, with a couple items in front of him. He hums to himself as if nothing were wrong and seems to be in shock. Your clansmen gather him into the caravan before you leave. And apparently we can hit up a market. Okay. Ooh. 1 renown gets us 10 supplies. Yeah, alright. I mean, we got tons of renown to work with. Okay. Grab all those supplies. Obsidian powder. Fragments of a shattered dredge obsidian. Carefully ground into a powder will sometimes explode when applied to a weapon. Knockback on strength greater than 4. So if I'm guessing this right, if we hit an enemy with attack that would do 4 or more strength damage, or maybe just more than 4 strength damage, it will push them back. Which can be useful, but more often than not, I'm not doing that much damage. Unless it's close towards the end of the battle. Tough to say. Studded pommel, same thing, but strength greater than 5. Let's see, powder crush from unusual rocks of the Nordfelling wastes, often used to paint shields. Adding to their strength. You know what, I think I'm gonna pass and save my renown. Okay, well, let's get out of here. Nothing left for us here, I already got all the supplies. Though that does beg the question, who did we give the renown to? See, the caravan consists of more clansmen than you ever expected. Accusation of stolen chickens, missing heirlooms, and concerns over daughters' virtues are the sorts of things you hear relentlessly. Even fighters complain of spreading too thin to protect everyone. Oh boy. Okay, another random event. Try to keep people useful and too busy for petty squabbles. Firewood collection, scouting, gathering of edibles, weapons training, and wagon repair keep your clansmen busy and usually too tired to complain. The chores slow the caravan, but the resulting peace and productivity feels worth it. Excellent. Another godstone. Plus, it got us more supplies, so... Okay. The, random event, not this. The Godstone for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Iver shoos some children away from a solitary dredge slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that? You ask Iver, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Huh? Inspect the Godstone. Ingrid's Godstone is carved with ancient runes, which don't make much sense to you. Though Avon tells you some of the Menders have deciphered them, it's how the Menders learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contain more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing he tells you is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Avon doesn't know how to read it himself. Juno could, he says. Well, let's pack up and move on. As you're readying to depart, you hear screams from near the main godstone. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment you think they must not have been dead, but then you see that they have opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hands. Wait. This shouldn't be seen. Wait, says Iver, his arms crosses your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. Alette pushes past and gasps. Stop! Shouts Iver, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That dredge is a woman? We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time? Leaving them to die? In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting this dredge the whole way. Why are women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading. They're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. Darkness. Something black is covering the world, and the dredge are running from it, just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Iver, you knew. Why didn't you say something? Doesn't matter what we pick here. Iver? When I was young, I killed one of the Sunder during the Second Great War. We called it rays. Every time we would build our defenses, it would flatten them, push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the varl and stumbled upon Rays deep in a snowstorm. Alone. She was nursing. I threw my axe, twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed a Sunder. When I found my way to Grovheim, the varl wanted to make me Kender, next to be king. I left, walked until I ended up in Skoger, where no one knew what I had done. The only sound is the wind, blowing through the trees. And yeah, we finally reveal why it is varl would end up in Skoger. Why somebody whom was such a legend among the varl would choose to abandon it all. Because he was ashamed. Ashamed of how he had become a legend in their eyes. Oof. For a long time, nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby? She asks. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the small obsidian creature squirming before you. Wouldn't feel right leaving a baby behind to die. Insist on taking it with the caravan. You argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agree to take in the dredge infant, while the others are furious about bringing it along. Yeah, lose some morale over that, but meh. Not long afterward, one of the women comes to you. Its swaddling was being held by this, she says, giving you a hairpin that looks distinctly undredge-like. An inscription on the silver almost slips your notice. Persevere. The goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman tells you. Varl silver brooch. Oh boy. Let's make camp and check that out. Here we are. Vadrun. Why did I say Varl silver brooch? Whatever. Vadrun silver brooch. Given as a charm by the god Ingrid to ward off disaster. It bears the inscription Persevere. One strength resist. So I'm guessing that anybody who has that equipped basically means that they will resist 1 damage of strength? Or is it that strength or attacks of 1 damage are resisted? Not certain. Also, while I'm here, let's swap out Gunnel for Krumer. Alright, let's keep moving. You're making the usual rounds when you hear a rather loud debate coming from the area that varl have gathered. Iver joins you as you approach. Ubin, you'd rather be known for falling asleep and dying in the corner of a mead house than battling a Sunder? No, I'd rather be known for not dying. Don't even know what you're worried about. I did this 100 times in the Great Wars. Take some warriors, plow headfirst into the dredge. They follow you into the hills, get lost, now they're not following you. When you did this 100 times, did they have Bellower leading them? Have you heard about the time I hit Bellower in the head with a throwing axe? Both Varl heart their debate when they suddenly notice you watching. What's this about? Careful, my friend. A lot of old history getting thrown around here. The warriors were just noting that there's a damn good number of dredge on our asses. Bellower pulling up the rear. This one thinks he can just wander up there and throw them off our tracks. How about some gratitude? Thought you'd be happy to finally be the oldest varl in the land, Ubin. I'm never happy to lose more varl, Krumer. Besides, I'm not convinced you're really older than me. Old rivalry you've got here. Comments like that remind me, I've already wasted too much time doing nothing. The old days, I'd already be halfway to the battlefield by now. Speaking of which... You coming, Ingvar? We could ask Bellower for your arm back. Don't think so. Not exactly in the mood right now. Alright then. I'll tell Harderborg you said hello. Krumer and a good many varl head out toward the growing army of dredge. Is he going to come back? It doesn't matter what you pick, he's going anyways. Is he going to come back? He always has before. But this time feels different, I fear. Great, just when I swapped Krumer out for, Gunnulf out for Krumer. Which has dropped us down to 2 varl warriors. Oh boy. Now I kind of want to look into that. See if he does come back, but we'll find out eventually. Let's see. As you're nodding off to sleep, shouts of fire pull you back to attention. Flames quickly consume a supply wagon and a few tents. A woman cries out, "My boy!" and points to a burning tent closest to the outlying varl. 2 of the giants are motionless, staring at the spreading fire with terror in their eyes. Okay. Seems our best option is make an effort to save the rest of the supplies. You and another man douse the wagon with a water barrel, squelching the flames and saving most of the food. After the fire dies out, you find a woman sobbing at the side of her dead son. You glance toward the ashamed varl before saying, "Without these supplies, many more would have died." I mean, he's not wrong. And looking at the numbers of what we would have lost... Ugh. Not any better. What in the depths was that about? You mutter to yourself. Something about fire, Oddleif tells you. I've heard this before. They don't like it. Doesn't change what happened, you think to yourself. Gather around, doubters! Echoes a shout in the distance as Krumer and his band of warriors break through the nearby foliage. And behold the invincible Varl! The caravan is still thrilled to see Krumer return safely. The plan work? Asks Ubin. Work, responds Krumer. Of course it worked. Same old dredge. Should be another day or two at least before they even find their own asses. Heh, nice. And some free renown. And if you apologize, I'll tell you how I found these, Krumer says, tossing you a pair of leather gloves that look big enough for a varl. He leans in close, whispering so Ubin can't hear. Had something to do with a raven's nest and a hair tie. Nice. Treasure hunter and Dunder's hand. Let's make camp and check that out. According to myth, the god Dunder needed these gloves just to lift his hammer of creation, heavy as it was. Well, unfortunately we don't have anybody who can use them. Well, Avon could, but he's better off with the puzzle box. Alright, let's head out.
As Sigurholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud homes sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake. What has the rest of the world become on the other side of those mountains?
Oh boy. Yeah, looking at all this. Wow. Without having seen the serpent back in Einartoft, it's easy to think the world's coming to an end. Huh. I never noticed it when we were zoomed in, but they actually have all the fighter characters up front, like, specifically. Never noticed it before. You can't see it because they're behind the houses. Ugh. One catastrophe to another, says Oddleaf as you pull into Sigurholm. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from dark windows and makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, says Ivan, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here. You get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of the question. The beach is bare, aside from the occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat. You reluctantly set up camp in the sinking town. All I'm saying is, how long are you willing to wait? While taking stock of the caravan, you've inadvertently walked into a debate between Oddleaf and Avon. As long as we need to. And I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the wastes. I'm sorry, Avon. I think Oddleif's right. I saw a man. The whole time we were setting up, he was just watching me. In a creepy way. And how long before the dredge find us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time. Rook, listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. Okay, well, we'll use up the last 2.5 minutes to talk to Avon. You're really worried about her, aren't you? What? Oh, Juno? Worry doesn't begin to describe it. She doesn't find us here, or something has happened to her. Are you sure what you saw was real? It could have been a dream, or... I don't know. You were pretty exhausted. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything is a blur. Don't tell the others I said that. I have to hope it wasn't just a dream. So, what's it like? Be a mender. Being a mender? I guess I never really thought about it like that. It's just part of me. They knew very young I would join the order. Born into it, you could say. My mother and father, both menders. The guild is for lots of people now. Builders and healers. Do they all pull lightning out of the sky? No, that's not normal. It's one of the reasons I know Juno. She's one of the council. She helps me control things like this, so we don't end up scaring people. How exactly does weaving work, anyway? Well, the hardest part is usually seeing the threads. Everything is a part of the tapestry. It's made of threads woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it, really. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some menders carve intricate patterns in the wood to help them remember the shapes of... like I said, hard to explain. Why is Bellower still following us? Something tells me it's got something to do with Iver. I saw Grofheim as it burned. Avon gets a faraway look in his eyes. Sunder blew through it like a tempest. The varl fell in the thousands. Most of the Sunder left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to, or heading toward Arborang. Bellower stayed in Grofheim, just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Einartoft, I thought he must want to wipe the varl off the map completely. But then he came after us. Maybe he knew Iver was the one who killed Reyes. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. Do you think this is the end of times? I don't know what to think. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escape the dredge, that serpent said a darkness was covering the world. I don't know how long it will take, or what it means even. I'm just trying to solve one problem at a time. The Menders are in Arborang. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. I won't take any more time. No, it's okay, Rook. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spend all day worrying about serpents or sunder. I think a lot of people are intimidated, or scared maybe, of me. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. And maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending? Sure. Well, I think with that, we are going to end things off there for this episode. If you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload, or to hit the straw link to vote for our next Let's Play. And please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.